Okay, so now that we've been through the C# crash course, let's go ahead and write a program together to just reinforce the concepts that we discussed there. And so I'm going to open up Visual Studio, and I'm going to once again choose to create a new project. We'll choose again a console app using C#. That might be in your recent project templates. If not, you can always search for it over here, and then we'll click Next. And then what we're going to do mainly in this program is reinforce the concept of object-oriented programming. And so I'll call this OOP Fun. And then again, I'll leave this box checked for now. Place solution and project in the same directory. Click Next. And then I'll choose .NET 8 like we've done. And I'll click Create. All right, and it will build for us our basic structure of our program. And instead of doing what we've done the last couple times where we go and expand this to create a program main style program, I'll just leave it like it is, and we know that that's behind the scenes what's happening. There's a a private static void main string args line, and that they're just hiding it from us because it's assumed. This is a very normal thing in .NET. But I will delete that code out so we have a clean slate to start with. So what I want to do in this program is I want to build a little program that analyzes a quote. I'm a person who loves a good quote. And so it's going to be really simple. The user is going to enter a quote, which, by the way, to do a comment in C#, we do a // or we can do a block comment by saying /**, and then it'll create a block for us, and then we can, whatever we write here will be commented out. All right, so we're going to have the user enters, so maybe I'll put that user enters a quote. Once they've entered a quote, then we're going to tell them some information about the quote. We'll tell them how many words were in the quote, how many characters, and how many letters, how many of each letter was used. And so we'll say how many A's there were, B's, C's, D's, and so on. All right, easy enough. And so the user entering the quote, that part hopefully we feel okay about. And so if the user's going to enter a quote, I need somewhere to store that. And so just again, recollecting that as we are thinking about storing stuff in C#, we need to think about what type of information is it that's going to be stored. And so if we go back to our, let's pull it up, C# data types. Then here it's going to have a list of the different options available to us. And just recapping really quick, the ones we typically use are Boolean, true or false. We use integer type numbers, and so integer, but again there's a variety in there of the size that we can use depending on what our needs are. Typically we'll use a double in programming, and we've got 3 different types there depending on the size we need. A float, a double, or a decimal. And then we've got, for characters, we've got this char variable which stores 1 Unicode character. And then if we have a lot of characters, then we have this option to use a string, which is a string of characters. And there's a lot of built-in methods and functions that we can use with strings. They're super helpful, and we'll use some of them in this program. All right, so if we're going to get the information from the user, what type of information, in terms of a quote, what type of a variable would we want to store that? Well, we realize that we're going to need a string because that's the type of information that's going to be stored. And so I will go in and put in a string, create a string variable. So this is defining the type, and then I have to give it a name that we're going to refer to it in the program. And so I'll call this the quote. So string quote, and set it equal to blank to begin with. This part is not required, but it's just a good idea. It'll allow us to do this just fine, but it's going to give us a little warning and say that it's, well, right now that it's never used, which makes sense. This is just a warning, but there's the potential for it to hold, well, it does hold a null currently, but later on in the program, there's a potential for it to hold a null, and so we always just go in and set it equal to something. That's very standard practice in the world of programming. So worst case scenario, it's going to be blank. And then we'll see that in our program, and our program won't crash. All right, so then we want to get information from the user. How do we do that? We can say console dot, which is part of the system group. And because we're not running it independently like we did in the last video, compiling it independently, instead we're doing it as part of this whole application, a console application, then the system has been brought in there, which allows us to just type in the word console. Again, Visual Studio trying to help us out. So console dot, and then to read in a line, first we have to ask the user to enter the quote. So to output a line to the user, what do? It's the console dot, and then it's going to give us some options here, and we can see that one of our main options here is to write a line. So I'm going to write a line out to the user. I'm going to say, please, and we got to do this in quotes. I started to do this. Let's do it actually. Please enter a quote to analyze. It's going to give us all sorts of errors because these are being treated as variables, and it's saying you've never declared a variable, name please, or enter, or a, or quote, or to, or analyze. And so this is being treated as individual words that are variables. We want it to be treated as a word, and so we need to put this inside quotes, which is going to make this what we call a string literal, meaning the program is going to take it literally. All right, so I'm going to write out to the user and say, please enter a quote to analyze, and then we want to read in that information. Now to read in from the console, we use console again, and then we can see that we have a method here called readLine, which allows us to read from the console, which is going to read what the user types in. What do we need to put in these parentheses? Do we need to tell it anything about what it's reading in? And the answer is no, we don't. We don't need to give it any parameters. It's a command, but it has to have the parentheses still because it's a method that we're referring to. And so, but we do need to put it somewhere, so it's not liking something here. Semicolon expected. Oh, I just haven't finished out the line. All right, so we've got a read line, but currently it will read that into nothing. All right, because it's just going out to the console, it's reading it in, but then it's not storing it anywhere. We want to store it. And so we'll take, and where do we want to store it? Well, we want to store it in this variable that we've set up called quote. And so I'll put here quote equals console.readLine. So what we're setting, what's being set, always goes on the left-hand side of the equal sign, and what we're setting it to goes on the right-hand side of the equal sign. And so we're going to take and read in from the console something, and whatever's read in then gets put into that quote variable that we've created to hold that information. And that should allow us to have the quote. We can test this really quickly by just doing a quick console.writeLine and say the quote and then whatever's in that quote variable. Always good to test our code to make sure it's working properly. So I'll run this. And it takes always a little bit longer the first time you run it, which is not good because I'm watching this clock. But eventually it's going to run. It's just trying to create a little tension, a little anticipation. Man, it really is taking its time. This is going to be close. Okay, testing, hurry, testing. Quote testing, it worked. Spencer out.